All right, let's find out now what is making a buzz online this Tuesday. It's time for Media Watch with Emma James. Good to see you, Emma. And we're going to start with some big changes to Twitter here in France that have got some people thinking that it is all part of a big conspiracy.
Yes, absolutely. People here in France are in a real flap over what Twitter has been up to over the last 24 hours or so. And it shows just how important this social media giant has become to individual people. Lots of messages like this one popping up overnight. I just lost 633 followers. Is Twitter cleaning up undesirable accounts? And I love the image that goes with it, this sort of Twitter jailbird, really, in trouble there. Lots of people coming up with images a little bit like that. This person says that their account was blocked by Twitter, then unblocked. I think it's a means of intimidation. We are truly in a banana republic. Some very dramatic statements being made on Twitter, it has to be said.
Is it just in France this is happening?
Well, we'll get to that.
Oh, absolutely. I want to jump the gun.
Last night in particular, it was France that was targeted, but this is a global thing. Oh. This Twitter user saying that they should come up with a new logo because the current one just isn't appropriate anymore. Yes, exactly. Gagged, and it is the idea that censorship is somehow being done. We've seen the hashtag Twitter censorship and also censorship on the move, which is a nod, of course, to La République en Marche, Emmanuel Macron's party. So that gives you a clue what some people think the conspiracy theory is. Lots of publications here in France, though, reporting that no, this isn't a censorship measure. It is actually basically a means of trying to clean up Twitter. Twitter says that it isn't censoring, it is trying to get rid of false accounts and bots, and also to stop those harmful accounts that actually spread fake news. So lots of people have been suspended because of unseemly behaviour on Twitter. And what they say is they're hoping to promote more peaceful discussions because it is a real hotbed.
Good luck with that.
Yes, absolutely. Good luck with that. But it is a change they're trying to make. We wish them luck. But as I said, this isn't just France. This is a global thing. This was earlier this month, the Washington Post reporting that 70 million accounts were closed or suspended in May and June of this year. And it is their big effort to actually clean up Twitter and make sure that you are really seeing genuine thoughts from genuine people.
Because the tech giants are under pressure from governments, aren't they? That is true.
Huge amount of pressure. And also Facebook under pressure too, because it's falling in popularity and it's losing its share price as a result. And people are questioning whether they should be using these sites as much as they have been. Now, where there has been a real uproar is in the political sort of sphere, if you like. Alain Juppé, who is a senator for Les Républicains, the Republicans, asks whether or not this is some way connected to the affaire Benalla. The Alexandre Benalla, the aide to Emmanuel Macron, he's wondering whether it's actually people who've been tweeting about that particular story who've somehow been censored. Exactly. Nicolas Dupont-Aignan from Debout la France, Stand Up France, he asks whether this is a pretext, the idea that they're fighting false accounts and that actually they are censoring hundreds of thousands of users. And he says when the control of the freedom of expression is handed over to private enterprises, democracy is violated. So all very dramatic language being used. This person isn't a politician, but clearly tweets political messages a lot, and he's convinced that it is the anti-Macron accounts that have all been blocked overnight. This is the one that really goes far too far. Éric Tegnier, who wants to be the president of the Young Republicans, he has compared this action by Twitter to the Night of the Long Knives. Now, if your World War II history is a little rusty, that was a series of political extrajudicial executions. It is absolutely ridiculous to equate losing fake followers to something as heinous as that. And it is quite shocking that people have chosen to use that kind of language.
World War II gets dragged into everything these days,
absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Now, of course, it might have helped if Twitter France had addressed this in any way on their official Twitter page, but they haven't actually tweeted since the end of the World Cup, the 18th of July. It appears that they're taking somewhat of a sabbatical, which is probably not the best time for them to have done it, has to be said. This Twitter user pointing out that really we should all be thankful over this, because this is about avoiding the political manipulation of our country. And I think the final word on this one has to go to this gentleman who says he has one sole question for those who are practically crying over this issue. Do you not have a life outside of social media? Very good question.
Get a cat like him. A real one. All right, let's talk about the next edition of Vogue. Ah, yes, because there's a lot of speculation that it might have a new editor, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the cover. It's going to be Beyonce. Well, looking fabulous, as always.
And in effect, some people are saying she is the guest editor of September's edition of Vogue. She is one of the most influential women in the world, and she is certainly wielding her power here. The Huffington Post saying she's been given unprecedented control over this cover, which she will be the star of. And the big story is the fact that they have hired a black photographer. Now, you might think that that really isn't a big story in 2018, but unbelievably, in its 126-year history, Vogue has never had its cover shot by a black photographer. So Beyonce has wielded her power to ensure that that happens. Yasha Ali, who's reporting on that, says that ordinarily there is only one decider at Vogue. That has always been Anna Wintour. Now, this is likely to be her final edition. Normally, she picks the clothes, the photographer, she approves. Yes, and she approves everything. But Beyonce asked to be given control, and she has been given it. Now, she's been on the cover before, back in September 2015, so 3 years on, she's back again. This is the gentleman she has, well, this is one of his photographs anyway, Tyler Mitchell, a 23-year-old who has photographed covers for Teen Vogue, just 23. This one, of course, about gun control with the survivors of the shooting in Parkland, Florida. And some people saying that, yes, it is inspirational, it's great that this has happened and we should celebrate it, but also it is a little sad that in 126 years it has taken this long for them to use a black photographer. And it's not even Vogue's choice. This was the choice of Beyonce.
Change is coming to Vogue very slowly.
Yes, very slowly.
All right, Emma, thank you very much indeed.